Hello friends, how are you all? Let us continue lesson number 6. We are studying Indian agriculture and this is the 14th video. In this video friends, we will study an important topic which is the issues involved in transport and marketing of the agricultural produce in our country. So first of all, let us understand the agriculture supply chain friends, and then we'll understand what are the issues in these. Okay, so when we talk about agricultural marketing, there is one term called farm to fork. Okay, so please try to keep this terminology in your mind, this phrase farm to fork. So F to F. So farm meaning where farmers grow their crops, and fork meaning the plate of the consumer. Okay, where it is where the consumer is consuming food. So it is obviously the prepared food. It can be pizza, it can be soup, it can be maggi noodles, it can be sabzi roti, it can be dal chawal, whatever. So so this is a plate. So we use the term farm to fork. So in between this farm to fork, whatever supply chain comes, that is called transport and marketing of agricultural produce. So this is a very simple diagram. You can see here that a farmer, an agriculturalist is producing some commodity in his farm. So say this is a crop, and this is after harvesting. What he does is simply he puts it in some truck. Okay, so this is a tractor or a truck where he loads all his produce, and then this truck transports it to the either the mandi where it is sold, and where it is purchased by the people, and then maybe it goes for further processing in some factories, maybe some packaged food, and then maybe through a supermarket. Okay, and then maybe to some retail shop, and then from retail shop to the consumer, and then finally to the plate. So this is a very simple supply chain that I have shown to you here. So this process in between from farm to fork, this process is called transport and marketing process of the agricultural produce. And our objective of this particular lesson is to analyze the logistical and systemic barriers to effective farm to fork transition. So what are the challenges, what are the problems, what are the various issues? So that issues may be logistical issues, transportational issues, systemic issues, legal issues, political issues, right, environmental issues, technological issues. We have to understand what different kinds of issues come here in between this process. So our objective is to analyze the logistical and systemic barriers to effective farm to fork transition and assess reforms and tech interventions that can plug inefficiencies. So if there is any inefficiency, any problem in this particular supply chain, this transport and marketing processes, we have to find solutions to that. So as UPSC aspirants, you need to understand these challenges, these issues very, very clearly, so that you can propose solutions for that. And we can, and whatever government schemes are coming up for this, we'll study that also, what different schemes are there, what challenges and how different challenges are addressed by the government, and what are the new solutions. So there may be technological solutions, tech interventions, there may be some governance reforms, rules, regulation changes that can be suggested. Okay, so let us have a look at all those things. So first of all, let us understand what is the structure of Indian agriculture marketing. So first of all, this particular part, this structure of Indian agriculture marketing, first let us understand that how it works. So first we'll see about the traditional system. So how traditionally things are transported and marketed, dominated by APMC mandi. So APMC is Agricultural Produce Marketing Committee. Okay, marketing committees. So these are the regulated committees by the state governments where the farmers can come and sell their produce to the registered purchasers. Okay, so they are the firms which purchase their produce. They may be some industry people, they may be some traders who purchase their produce from the farmers, okay, in a mandi. So, and whatever rules regulation apply here, that is controlled by this APMC rules and regulations. Okay, it is regulated by the state laws. Farmers must sell in designated mandis. So what happens is that for a particular village, say village A, So village A will sell in Mandi X. So it is designated that farmers of village A will sell only in Mandi X. Farmers of village B will sell in Mandi Y. Like that. Okay, so mandis are designated and they have to pay multiple charges like market fee, commission, cess, etc. because it is being done by the mandi. So in order for mandis to function, they have to pay some market fee also. Now, what are the various issues involved here? Monopoly of licensed traders. So, as I have told you that these people who purchase, these traders who can purchase this, they are licensed. Okay, so only licensed traders can go and purchase there. So, again, because of this license, there is a scope for middlemen and corruption. Lack of transparency in price discovery. So, whatever price is set by them, the farmers have to accept. So because there is kind of monopoly of these licensed traders there, and force intermediation even if better prices are available elsewhere. So these are some of the issues, and those of you who have actually seen this, who come from the farmers family, will understand what I am trying to say. Now, what are the reforms in this? What reforms can be brought? One is a model APMC Act of 2003. Again, this is a model act enacted by the central government. Friends, wherever the word model comes, please try to understand that it is enacted by the central government and it is a kind of model, a representative act for the state governments, because ultimately it is a state subject. Encourage direct sale, contract farming, private markets. Contract farming we have already seen, right? Now, there is also another model APLM Act of 2017. It is more liberal but not widely adopted. So this 2017 Act, it replaced the 2003 Act, and it made agricultural marketing more liberal in the sense that more freedom was given for private players and also for the farmers, in the sense that in the previous traditional APMC way, as I told you, that the farmers were tagged to a said mandi, and also the licensed traders only could come and purchase. Now there is more freedom, more liberal system is there. What are some of the features of this? So one is that farmers given more choice of markets and not restricted to designated mandis, which enhanced competition because more traders now can come, they have more market to sell. Rationalized market fee and commission. So previously market fee was high, so it got rationalized so that the farmers don't pay excessive amount as market fee and commissions. Private market yards were also permitted. Previously these APMC mandis used to be government mandis only, but now private mandis are also allowed, and e-trading is also allowed using the electronic platforms, digital platforms. Now e-NAM is one of the important reforms brought by the government recently. So e-NAM is Electronic National Agriculture Market. It is an online platform launched in 2016 to unify these mandis all over the country. A farmer can see where is the demand coming, and they can sell their produce to that particular purchaser online. As of 2025, 1473 mandis onboarded on e-NAM portal. 2.3 lakh crore trade value has already happened, but see, it is still very, very less. 1473 is a very minuscule amount of the total amount of mandis that we have in our country. What are the challenges? Low volume, weak quality assessing, because since it is online, so you cannot assess the quality of the purchase. So traders are also very reluctant to purchase it through e-NAM portal. Physical movement still needed for settlement. So obviously, if a farmer in Odisha wants to sell it to a purchaser in Tamil Nadu, so obviously the commodity, the produce, if it is paddy or it is wheat or jawar, ragi, whatever, it has to move to Tamil Nadu physically, right, the commodity, because the purchase. So this physical movement is still there, and there are a lot of issues involved there. Now let us see what are the constraints in the transport. Right now we have seen the constraints that are there in the marketing. Now we'll see what are the constraints in the transport of agricultural produce. So road connectivity is a very, very big problem in our country. First mile connectivity, last mile connectivity, big issue. So still many of our villages are not connected to the mandis with a proper road, and therefore movement of goods in in tractors and heavy vehicles is still very challenging. So rural road network still incomplete. More than 50,000 habitations don't have this connectivity yet. Despite the Pradhan Mantri Gram Sadak Yojana's expansion, many villages lack direct access to market centers. So road connectivity, very, very big problem. So this is the point number one you can use as a transporting constraint if you're writing any answer about it. Point number two is cold chain and storage. Yeah. chain of cold storage is very poor. Only 11% of produce moves via cold chain in our country. India loses 15 to 20% of fruits and vegetables post harvest because there is no proper storage, cold storage required for these kind of produce. No integration between pack houses, processing units and retail chains. So this integration is very important. Okay, now third is obviously the railroad logistics, poor in our country, poor multimodal integration. Multimodal meaning modes, these are the various nodes, for example. So say for example, if this is one village, now this village it is bringing to this mandi X. Now from this mandi X, suppose it has to move to a central depot. From depot, say it is going to one big city where some food processing is happening. So these are the various modes. So this integration is poor actually in our country. Then Kisan Rail initiative started in 2020. It helped but limited in frequency and reach. Okay, so there were special railways that was run by the railway ministry, but again very limited reach. And agri rail sidings and silos remain underdeveloped. So rail siding meaning these are basically the small go downs or these small sheds near the railway line. So suppose this is a railway line. Okay, so near this there will be big warehouses, okay, sheds where the farmers can bring their produce so that it can easily be loaded in the railway, okay, in the train. So but these railway sidings are poor, lot of permission required, local politics required. So and silos is also the same thing, they are underdeveloped still. So we need to do a lot of infrastructural development. Okay, now let us look at what are the marketing constraints. Okay, middlemen and price realization. There are a lot of problem of the middlemen dominate all the APMC transactions, taking 20 to 25% cuts. So this is the commission and this is the cuts that they are taking. You can imagine the money that is going in the pocket of the farmer. And farmer share in consumer price is only 20 to 25 to 30% in perishables. So for example, if a vegetable is being sold at 50 rupees per kg in the retail market, then of this only about 10 to 12 to 15 rupees is actually reaching the original producer. Okay, 20 to 30% of the perishables, and for 50 to 60% in case of staples, that is paddy and wheat. So again, if the paddy is being sold at 50 rupees per kg, only 25 rupees is received by the farmer, where MSP procurement is active. Okay, so this is a actual practical problem that we are facing. Price volatility is another issue that is there in marketing of agricultural produce. Perishables like vegetables, fruits, other dairy products, especially vulnerable to gluts and crashes. Okay, so if there is a lot of production, too much of production, you must have heard that in Maharashtra, the farmers, they literally dumped their onions on the roads because the price was less than 1 rupee per kg. So they literally dumped. So the prices crashed because of excessive production. Similarly, some vegetable will grow excessively and the price will suddenly fall. So it is vulnerable to gluts and crashes. Poor storage, distress sales. So farmers don't have place to store. There are no cold storages. Subsidized price cold storage are not there. So distress sales are also done by the farmers. Anyways it is going to perish, so better I sell it at a low price. Export import policy often ad hoc. Sometimes the government bans exports, sometimes it allows exports. Example, onion export ban, wheat duty flip flop. So there is no certainty. So that is a problem that farmers face as to what will happen. So if the exports are allowed, suddenly the price will rise. If the exports are banned, suddenly the price will fall in the domestic market. So there needs to be certainty here. Then there are some MSP ineffectiveness also. MSP doesn't always work. MSP works mostly in wheat paddy belt only, Punjab, Haryana, parts of Madhya Pradesh and Telangana, and not for every crop. Pulses, oilseeds and coarse cereals remain under procured. So government actually doesn't procure them. They only declare MSP, but actual purchase by the government doesn't happen. Okay, the government only purchases some of the procures some of the crops only, like wheat, paddy, cotton in some states, sugarcane maybe. So only that is happening. Otherwise, for other crops like pulses, oilseeds and coarse cereals meaning like ragi, jowar, bajra, millet, whatever to what we say, actually remain under procured by the government. Now, what are the various policy efforts? So, ENAM, we have already seen electronic national agriculture market, but it suffers from low share of the overall trade. We have seen that only about 11%. Okay, this we saw here. in the ENAM, that only about 11% is there, which moves via the cold chain, whereas for ENAM only 1473 mandis have been connected so far on this platform. And agriculture infra fund also declared by the government of over 1 lakh crore for development of cold storage, pack houses, and rupees 58,000 sanctioned till 2025. So government is taking some efforts towards this to develop agriculture infrastructure. PM Gati Shakti to develop physical infrastructure like logistics, master plan including agri hubs. Few hubs are operational. Example, Ludhiana hub showing early results. So government has already developed one such hub in Ludhiana in Punjab. Okay, then FPOs as market players. So FPOs need to be developed, farmer producer organizations. Up to 15 lakh rupees grant is given to them, credit support for infrastructure development. Now what kind of infrastructure they will develop? They will have their own warehouses, go down, okay, processing facilities, packaging facilities. Then almost 9,800 FPOs have been formed. Aggregation is improving. Okay, so we are doing something so that the farmers, individual farmers who cannot have their own storage places or cold chain, these FPOs can afford to have such infrastructure. Then there are various tech interventions also, that is being done in this area. So one is about ONDC, which is Open Network for Digital Commerce. Now includes FPOs and agri-produce. They have been onboarded on this so that, they can sell their produce on this platform. It enables B2B, business to business, and business to consumers. B2C trade directly from the farm gate, and still in pilot phase. Scalability is a concern. So it is still in the pilot phase, and how we can scale it up to the national level is a big concern, because digital literacy, awareness, so many different issues are there that we have seen in the previous video also. Then IoT, Internet of Things, blockchain, drones. These have already seen that these are some of the technologies which can be used. Sahyadri FPO of Maharashtra uses QR code and cold chains, blockchains for export quality grapes. Okay, so a successful example from Maharashtra. Internet of Things for cold storage, temperature tracking, drones for harvest planning, logistics optimization. Okay, these are some of the technologies which can be used. Now let us also look at some of the case studies which are successful in our country. So one is of the Sahyadri FPO of Maharashtra. Almost 18,000 small farmers have been onboarded. Professionals have been onboarded also, and the farmer producer organization is formed. It owns cold storage, grading and processing units. It uses both ONDC and private labels. Increased income by 30 to 50% for every farmer. So see, this is a success story. Then Punjab's Gati Shakti Agro Hub Ludhiana. I have already told you, Ludhiana model. Grain loader is there. Silos have been constructed. Cold storage has been constructed. It reduced grain turnaround time from 7 days to 30 hours. So see, the farmer which brings grain to the market, mandi, and from there it gets loaded in a truck and again goes to the market. So this turnaround time has been reduced from 7 days to 30 hours. So this is one of the successful case studies that has been there. Now what are the further policy recommendations that can be done, innovative ways to resolve these issues? So first, we have to deal with the basic problem. So that is rural roads. Okay, in order to have the first and last mile connectivity under the Pradhan Mantri Gram Sadak Yojana phase 4. Okay, so we have to finish this. Then we have to make ENAM interoperable with warehouse receipts and logistics API. Now what is this warehouse receipts? I'll explain to you in a very simple term. So say there is a warehouse, the government warehouse, a farmer comes. Okay, so farmer says that I have 500 quintal of wheat. 500 quintal of wheat I want to sell. He puts it in this warehouse. So he doesn't want to sell now. He wants to store it there. So what he'll do is he'll bring it to this warehouse. He'll store 500 quintal of wheat here, and this warehouse owner will give him a receipt in return that this person has kept 500 quintal of wheat in my warehouse. Now this warehouse receipt now can be uploaded on the ENAM, or the ENAM can be connected to this warehouse receipt system, so that the purchaser on the ENAM will see that this farmer has 500 quintal of wheat of this quality stored in this particular godown. And then that purchaser can say that okay, I'll purchase this. So the money gets transferred in the account of this farmer, and now this 500 quintal warehouse receipt gets transferred in the name of that purchaser. So the physical movement is not required. So material will still be in this warehouse only the ownership, that is which was previously with this farmer, now goes to that purchaser. Okay, so this interoperable with warehouse receipts and logistics API, this system can be done. It will be a big revolution in this particular area. Then the next one is single point levy in mandis to reduce cost, increase transparency. At mandi there are various points, okay, entry point, then checking point, transport point, and trader point, where at various point they will check and they'll put some cost and fees. So there has to be only a single point levy in mandis, okay, to reduce cost. Then we have to tie the Agri Infra Fund AIF support to post harvest infra creation by FPOs and PACs. So PACs is Primary Agriculture Cooperative Societies. Cold chain policy to mandate solar micro cold rooms. So micro cold rooms are this small cold storage, maybe of 1 ton capacity or 5 ton capacity. So these can be at village level. At small village, they can be managed by the SHGs, women SHGs, or the local communities also. They can charge something and they can be solar powered, okay, so they don't need electricity also. So again, a very good and innovative model of doing things. Agri rail corridors with time sensitive freights and real time tracking can also be developed. But again, see, this is a big project and it will take time, okay, it needs proper planning and implementation. And open source mandi data needs to be there. Arrivals, beads via API for private players need to be there. Just as we have it for the stock market, we can see what are the various bids for the purchase and what are the various sell bids also, so that it can be seen and there can be an open market like the stock market. So these are various policy reforms that can be done when it comes to transportation and marketing of agricultural produce. So I hope you have understood this particular topic, very important. We'll try to understand this further in the next lesson when we study about the agriculture policy, when we study about PDS and procurement by the government, MSP, and so many different agricultural marketing policy of the government. We are going to see that in the next lesson also. So we'll try to understand further complexities in this particular lesson. So I hope you have understood this. We'll continue with another topic in agriculture in the next video. Thank you.